Services Management Part 1, Defining Luxury. The objectives are: you should be able to identify and discuss the different definitions of luxury, describe what is meant by duality of luxury, describe the importance of educating consumers on how to consume luxury, discuss how to identify service as a luxury good, identify and describe the general framework of luxury, identify the anti-laws of traditional marketing for luxury. The difference between the old and new luxury are in two main areas: service and experience. When we think about service, we need to think before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale. For luxury goods, service goes well beyond the day you purchase the good. A luxury experience many times is in conjunction with the consumption of a luxury good, such as a hotel stay. Seldom will someone think about the thread count of the sheets, but will rather discuss the experience. However, if the luxury experience is a poor quality luxury good, the consumer will criticize the product. Look at the slide and see the comparison between the old luxury and the new. Here's another model of luxury. From my perspective, the outcomes of luxury are the duality of luxury, which is hedonism and status, while the other elements are the antecedents of these two outcomes. A luxury good should also be seen as timeless to be able to justify a high price for luxury goods. For many luxury goods, there's a long heritage. In many cases, it could expand for decades or even centuries. Let's go through this wheel of luxury. Social marker and hedonism is what we consider the outcomes of these other components: heritage and timelessness, authenticity, rarity, exclusivity, personalized sales, and premium price. Please remember, luxury sets the price. Price doesn't set luxury. When you stay at a luxury hotel, what type of hedonistic pleasures or experiences do you seek? Or how does wearing designer clothing provide you with this type of experience? When designing a luxury experience, we need to think about how to individualize a luxury experience to our consumer. Luxury of both left and right brain. A luxury good must be worth the price in terms of its craftsmanship. People who design luxury goods or services should be viewed as creators or artisans. The good or service must be seen as best in class. Otherwise, it's just another comparable good or service. Since many luxury goods are so sophisticated, it takes experts to assist luxury consumers to appreciate and correctly consume a luxury good. For example, think about art or a fine wine or diamonds. Luxury needs to educate consumers on how to best consume the good or service. Let's take a look at these two examples.
I want you to use your imagination. Think of what you look like. What color hair do you have? What color eyes do you have? What color is your skin? Keep that image in your head. Now I want you to think about your favorite color. And think about it as your hair. Now imagine your face, made out of different shapes. Now open your eyes. We all see the world in different ways, and we are all different on the inside and on the outside. But that's what makes us all special and unique, and we need to celebrate that in the way that God made us all special. We're going to go on a little trip, and we're going to take a flight. We're going to fly here from California all the way to Paris, France. That's in Europe. And we're going to see where this art came from. Paris, France is where the artist Pablo Picasso worked on many of his masterpieces. Picasso is famous for his paintings. Today we are looking at abstract art. Do you know what that is? Realistic art is what looks like the things that we see in the real world, just like looking through a window or at a photograph. Now, abstract art is different. very different. Abstract art uses your imagination to create it and to understand it. Colors, shapes, and lines in the art can be however you feel like creating them. You could be painting a tree, and the leaves could be purple. Now look at these two pictures of people. These are called portraits. One is realistic, and one is abstract. Which one do you think is abstract?
Let's look at another example, this time with champagne.
Here at the Fat Radish in the Lower East Side of Manhattan for some Champagne 101 with Cara Helene, the U.S. Director of Krug. So champagne is very often used for celebration, and there's always a great kind of ceremony and a great ritual to the actual opening and pouring.
When you put a bottle of champagne, of course you want security first. So the first part will be to unfold the bottle. And that is not dangerous at all, because what you want to avoid is the cork popping by itself. But until you touch what we call the cage, the cork will not leave by itself. So you unfold the top. That's the first part. Then this is where you need to be protected. So you're going to put your thumb on the top of the bottle while you are, can I say, unscrewing the part here? So once you have released the cage, here the pop can cork by itself. But because your thumb is on it, this doesn't happen very fast. It's really if you leave the bottle by itself, or if you don't pay attention, that the cork will pop. What we like to do is then, when you take the bottle like this, you put your other hand on it, you grab it, and now you're going to take the base of the bottle. And what people normally don't know is that you don't turn in the cork, but you're turning the bottle.
So you turn the base.
Exactly. You turn the base, you have a better grip, and you can still hold the cork. And then, naturally, it opens. Then you want to leave your bottle at 45 degrees, more or less. So if you do that, the foam will never come out. I mean, I personally always do with the nose.
Yes.
I know that sometimes people feel offended because they say it's not the proper way of opening a bottle of champagne.
As you can also see with champagne, you really need to understand the process and on the best way to pour it and to consume it. More luxury good or service can be personalized. More important, it will be on the luxury consumer. A person who is paying thousands of dollars a night do not want to hear that they are unable to have the services or goods they want when they want it. If I'm staying in a luxury hotel and paying $5,000 a night and I want to have a massage, what should the hotel do if I request a spa service at 3 in the morning? If you're paying thousands of dollars a night for a hotel room, do you want them to say that you are not able to swim in the pool after 10 p.m.? What should the hotel do? Luxury service brings unique challenges when designing it as a luxury good. Location becomes more important because the context will either add or distract from the luxury good. Think about where a resort is located. The aesthetics of a luxury service, smell, sound, touch, taste, and sight, must be interpreted as a luxury good. The aesthetics of a luxury good or service contributes to the hedonism experience to a consumer. For all luxury services, it's important to have tangible goods attached to them. For example, during the service of a high tea, the use of real silver makes it a memorable experience. If you have an event, what takeaways can you provide to each guest? Training must go well beyond providing service to being able to recognize their luxury consumers and know their wants and needs. People who seek luxury expect to be recognized for their status and expect the service provider to provide them with personalized service. The service provider must think ahead of what their customer wants and needs. If you're a smoker, you want an ashtray once you sit down. If you like to read the Financial Times, you want them to have it or be able to offer it to you. If a guest wants eggs over easy, they shouldn't have to ask for it. Rather, you know their desires and eating habits. This is the type of personalized service you need to provide. Having ritual will make a luxury service much more memorable. For example, before a spa treatment, a guest will take a mud bath and finally receiving a spa treatment. Afterwards, guests are to be given a glass of fine wine and dessert to complete the experience. However, this doesn't always mean that it has to be pleasurable. For example, some spas will cleanse a person's colon, starve them for a week, and only give them green veggie shakes, or put them in a room that's over 120 degrees. Here's another definition of a luxury good or service. It must be designed by a creator and have a long history. There are artisans that either make the goods or provide the service. It must have a high level of craftsmanship. In this model, a luxury good or service must be distributed globally. In other words, if the whole world doesn't recognize it as a luxury good or service, how could it ever become a timeless good or service and affects a person's status globally? Here's a simple conceptual luxury model. We have to first identify what makes a good a luxury good, what are its antecedents, what is being communicated about the luxury good or service by the brand. Many times the luxury creator have no control what is being said about luxury good. For example, the wine spectator ranked the quality of a fine wine many times without consulting the wine producer. Consistency means that a luxury good is sending out a consistent message to consumer. However, with the pressure of luxury brands being required to produce a certain bottom line, it has had a negative effect on the message. For example, should a luxury good be sold at a discount? Should it be sold on site like Priceline? Why or why not? Here's a previous model expanded. This model shows the importance of creating antecedents of luxury to create a luxury good. Not only is it important to create a luxury good with specific antecedents, but it must be communicated effectively to the consumer, and the transaction plays an important role in enforcing it as a luxury good. Finally, what a luxury good finally means to the luxury consumer is the most important aspects of any luxury model. In other words, the outcome should have focus on a consumer status and experience. The previous model has been redefined to make the antecedent and outcomes to have a stronger emotional appeal to the consumer. Many will argue that this approach is more from the new world perspective because the old world focused on creating a luxury good that in itself a piece of art to be appreciated. One definition of luxury compared to religion because there are so many similarities. There's a creator, there are family myths and legends. Many times there are oral and written histories of great people or an event. There's a founding place where it was created, recognizable symbols and icons, and finally people to join together to praise this luxury good or service. A luxury good must provide consumer what they expect or exceed their expectations, and at the same time it must impact their hedonistic pleasure and status. Here are 21 differences between marketing a luxury and non-luxury good. Please review these 21 different laws.